Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I'm your host, Britt Madrid Mogensen. And in this episode, we are looking at all of the rumors surrounding White Lotus Season 3 co-stars Aimee Wood and Walton Goggins. This is going to be very juicy, so settle in. We're going to look at the birth chart indicators that could tell us what is going on between these two. I mean, there have been so many rumors. We got to get into it. So we're going to do that. Then we're also going to pull some tarot cards and we'll see if we can get to the bottom of this drama, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, of course. All right, guys, let's go. First, let's talk about the rumors.
What the is going on between Walton Goggins and Aimee Wood?
If you guys watch White Lotus, then I'm sure you've seen what everyone is calling an intense on-screen chemistry. Fun fact, not only were they having this intense acting experience, but people think that they had an off-screen romance that was just as hot and fiery as their characters. And that is where, things get a little bit dicey, of course.
We both became enmeshed in each other the way that Rick and Chelsea are.
Weird. Aimee told Vogue that they became accidentally method.
The method acting is a little bit sus. Now, I'm an actor as well, love acting. I am not a method actor. I think that would be incredibly difficult, just like psychologically, to jump in and out of a character that you live with for too long. And we see it with other actors, right? The actor that played Elvis, Austin Butler, like he wasn't able to change his voice back fully. Like
we still hear it in your voice. Can you just not shake him?
I keep asking people, is this my voice? Because this feels like my real. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love 90s grunge style. Red flannels and ripped up jeans and leather coats and stuff. You couldn't be more excited. I don't know, when you live with something for 2 years and you do nothing else, you can't help but it becomes a fiber of your being, you know?
That, I think psychologically can get very difficult because when you are a serious actor and you're truly trying to get into the mind and get into the shoes of someone else and to think like them and to live like them, and you don't have like a set cutoff point besides, the ending of that acting job, I feel like it would get really, really difficult, especially if you have a lot of like Pisces placements. I mean, where do you end and where do they begin? You could get lost in a character. I could totally see this happening. I don't think it's that far-fetched. With these two, that was like my number one red flag when I heard, according to Betches, in interviews, both actors have discussed how deeply they immersed themselves in their roles, with Wood mentioning that the cast accidentally became method. The accidentally is weird to me, guys. Like, red flag, put a pin in that. And Goggins noting that they became enmeshed in each other the way Rick and Chelsea are. Like, mic drop. Like, how can you interpret that any other way when you know about the roles that these two characters played in White Lotus? How can you interpret that any other way besides there was an affair? Like, I'm sorry, but and his poor wife. His wife's name is Nadia, and it actually looks like Walton and Nadia have worked together on other projects. So there's this post that she has on her social media. She said, "Righteous Gemstones, baby Billy / Walton, you are magic." Tagged Walton Goggins Bonafide. I guess that's his social media handle. And then tagged some other people. He wrote, "I love you so much, baby." To me, I don't know, this story, it's going to get layered, you guys. Like when we look at the birth charts, like it actually makes me feel sad. So on the surface, it looks like a little bit of like something sort of weird going on. Like maybe Walton was doing what we think a lot of actors do, where they go on set and they're cheating or whatever. But to me, when I look at his wife's social media, when I look at her information, articles written about her, I mean, she is a really talented person who is in the same industry. Nadia Connors, she was actually born January 1st, 1970. She's a director and writer. And obviously Walton's wife. So she's in the industry. Now, sometimes people who are, in the same industry, they will understand each other. There have been sources and rumors circulating that maybe Walton, like the reason that he's saying all these things and he feels okay to say all these things, like they were method, and he's gushed about his feelings for Aimee Wood and how when they first met, like he just knew she was going to be someone special in his life. Some people have speculated that the reason that his wife Nadia is okay with this is because she is a writer, she is a director, and she understands the craft. She takes it obviously very seriously, and that they have some sort of understanding that there's a line drawn that while he's on set acting and doing whatever he needs to do, that is fine as long as it's kept within the confines of that project. So we're gonna pull cards on that because I would like to know. Okay, we're being a little nosy here today. So that is a little background on his wife. They've been married for 16 years and they have a son. So to me, it looks like he has a really great life set up. Okay. Probably something that you wouldn't want to mess up by going and hooking up with your much younger co star on a project, right? Okay. Keep that in mind as we continue on. So people have been thinking that there is an issue between Walton and Amy Lou, despite their past, high praises of each other. People think that now there is some sort of issue, mostly because of some sketchy social media activity. Let's get into that. Some really emotional social media posts. Both Amy Lou Wood and Walton Goggins have shared tributes to their characters set to Fleetwood Mac's Silver Springs. Now, I went and listened to that song. It's a very popular song. You've definitely heard it before, but I went and listened to it and then I wanted to look up the lyrics. Guys, it hits hard. Like it made me feel very sad. And then when I was like reading their birth charts, I was like, okay, this is sad. Like this feels like a lost love. It feels like something that you wish you could have, but you can't have it. Okay. So listen to the song Silver Springs to get into this mood with us. And the song Silver Springs is actually associated with heartbreak, longing. The choice led to speculation about a deeper, possibly very personal connection, the choice of song. So clearly they have a song. Okay. We're going to go ahead and speculate and say they have a song. Also, another little interesting thing is that when asked about what animal you would be or whatever, he said that he would be a fox. And then he has commented to foxes on posts, that Amy Lou Wood has posted. He's like, before it looks like either she unfollowed and blocked him or the other way around. I don't know if internet sleuths have been able to figure out yet who unblocked or who blocked who, but it does appear that someone's blocked. And it just looks like things may have gotten messy. On top of that, co star Jason Isaacs mentioned that during filming in Thailand, friendships were made and friendships were lost. He suggested there was some off screen drama. So there's just been so much pointing to something weird going on. They do have some professional obligations coming up. So they are going to have to be in the same room. They're going to have to work together. So despite the rumors, according to entertainment journalist Elizabeth Wagmeister, who reported that Wood and Goggins are scheduled to work together on upcoming projects, possibly related to Emmy's campaigns, indicating that they are maintaining a professional relationship. She reported that to People magazine. So it looks like they're going to be forced to be around each other, and we'll see what unfolds. I don't know though, you guys. The social media posting, the Fleetwood Mac song, saying that they accidentally got method. Then they were following each other at one point during filming. And at this time, at the time of this recording, April 22nd, 2025, Walton Goggins and Amy Lou Wood have unfollowed each other on social media. And people say that this was after the filming of the White Lotus, which led to speculation and more, alleged support of the theory that it was okay, according to whatever arrangement he may have with his wife, that it was okay at the time for them to follow each other, for them to talk about their connection, to act, to do all the things that they, needed to do for their job. But then once it was over, it was over. And there does seem to be this strange longing type of energy. Also, Amy Lou Wood cried at the premiere. Walton wasn't there, and she said something to the effect of, like, I'm sad that he isn't here because it's something that was important to us that we did together. Like, all signs definitely point to a very close personal, emotional connection between the two actors. And it is very dicey. So now let's look at the birth charts and you guys just get ready to be shocked. Some things that I noticed about their birth charts just right off the bat that are absolutely shocking and indicate a connection that is extremely hard to turn away from, almost impossible. Walton's sun in Scorpio, okay, red flag already, guys. Walton's sun in Scorpio is conjunct Aimee's moon, her emotions, Jupiter, her sense of abundance, feelings of expansion, Pluto, transformation, and her north node. So Aimee actually has a lot of Scorpio placements. And obviously, the north node, that's a huge deal. To have a north node sun connection with somebody else is a huge indicator that this is a destined connection. The sun shines on whatever area of your birth chart there is like a connection with. So let's say, someone has their sun conjunct your Mercury, like it's going to shine a light on your communication skills. Well, the sun conjunct your north node, it's going to illuminate the path towards your highest self, your purpose in this life. Like the north node is what we're here to master, what we are driven to accomplish. So yes, this indicates, a potential professional connection, but more importantly, his sun conjunct her north node has a very profound impact on her that makes her feel like Jupiter and north node conjunct. It makes her feel like she can expand it towards her purpose. That is very intoxicating and addicting energy. But also bringing the moon along for the ride and Pluto, truly this connection transforms Aimee. She's transformed in her emotional capacity. She's transformed in her ability to believe in what's possible. Jupiter, she's transformed in the way that she used to view life before versus after meeting Walton. I mean, it is really like, what's that emoji? You know that emoji that it's like the person with the head exploding? Like that is how Aimee Lou Wood must feel post connection with someone whose sun is conjunct her moon, Jupiter, Pluto, and north node. So already very intense. Okay, she also has like I said, she has a Scorpio moon, but Scorpio moons, if they have been wronged, especially when they're younger, sometimes people as they get older, they kind of like, chill out a little bit, or you live more life and you let things go more easily. Sometimes, not everyone, not always. But for her with the Scorpio moon, I could definitely see the relationship being something that was very important to her. And what a Scorpio moon will sometimes do when burned or wronged, is they have that little Scorpio stinger and they'll just sever or cut. They're just like, done, done, done. So an unfollow or a block, that would be something that a Scorpio moon would do potentially if they were really, really hurt by something or by someone. A lot of times Scorpio moons, because they're so emotional, they can be misunderstood. People can sometimes think that they're like mean or harsh, but truly, as someone speaking with who has a Scorpio moon, sometimes they close up and go into their shell rather than sting, because it's so painful for them that they would rather not face it or not deal with it. So they deal with things very differently, similar to a Cancer moon, but with a little bit more of an edge, a little bit more of a fiery, a little bit more of an anger. Okay. They do have that stinger, right? All right. So very interesting. Definitely don't want to cross Aimee Lou Wood. And it looks like Walton has definitely tapped into something. So the other thing, so we don't just have Walton's sun in Scorpio conjunct Aimee's north node. It actually goes the other way as well. Now, this is a real like showstopper. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with these two, you guys. So Walton's north node is in Aquarius, and that is conjunct Aimee's Aquarius sun, Venus, and Mars. So not only is Aimee's north node in conjunction with Walton's Scorpio sun, but Walton's north node is in conjunction with Aimee's Aquarius Venus, or Venus in Aquarius. Now, a Venus north node conjunction is really big. In past life astrology, Venus North Node conjunctions can indicate a romance that is meant to be either in this life or in the next. I know it's like, it's very intense. It's very, very deep. We also have, like the sun, mutual sun conjunction. I mean, It's a lot, you guys. This is a lot. So both of their North Node paths are illuminated by their relationship and connection to one another. So when someone is able to do this, let's say, so with Walton, if we look at his birth chart and we look at his North Node in Aquarius, that tells us that his South Node is in Leo, which makes sense. A lot of people with Leo South nodes, just like Leo North nodes, are actors or work in the arts or performance, they're performers of some sort. Now, with him, because Leo is his south node and Aquarius is his north node, he's actually here to move through and drop some of the egoic attachments that come with Leo energy. So the fame, the overly focused on your ego, um, a huge ego, wanting to kind of take up the entire room. He has that Scorpio sun, Leo moon. So, I mean, this is a big personality. And this is someone that I bet over time has had to learn and grow and realize that they are not the center of the entire universe and that there is more to life than them always getting what they want. So, I would say that the Aquarius North Node is probably increasingly challenging for someone like this because you've got on one hand a lot of energy that wants to put you in control with the Scorpio sun, make you the center of attention with the Leo moon, be the performer, be like have all eyes on you type of thing. But Aquarius wants you to stop thinking of yourself and actually think of the collective and expand your love and expand your energy to embrace everyone and to put everyone on that pedestal where you are someone who cares about humanity and the shared strife and the shared goals of us all. So he has a very interesting journey through control and illusion and releasing his ego and becoming more generous of spirit. Now, Aquarius North nodes, if somebody's illuminating this North node energy, I mean, that tells me that Aimee embodies the energy that he needs to learn more about. So, because this is Aimee's Sun, Venus, and Mars, her love, her passion is what it is. I know he's married. This is a crazy reading. But her love, her passion, allegedly, we could say is just through the acting character, whether it's just through the character or through a behind the scenes romance as well, experiencing that energy with her along with her son, which is with her ego, the way that she expresses herself, that is like an example to him of ways that he can emulate her and reach his higher potential. And it goes the opposite way as well. The way that Walton feels with the sun in Scorpio conjunct her moon, um, the way that Walton expresses his feelings, the way that he isn't afraid to go deep and to share, how he really truly feels, the way that Walton is able to think big and expand with Jupiter. He's shared, the trauma that he went through with his previous wife who um, passed away. And what's so interesting is that he actually went to Thailand to heal from that many, many years ago. And he found himself right back in the same place while filming this show. And by the way, and meeting Aimee. So I think there were like layers for him of spiritual self discovery that he's been going through. And Jupiter is about that spiritual self discovery. Jupiter is about expanding, gifts and luck, but also philosophical ideas and associated with like religious beliefs and all of that. So for him, it's a really big deal to feel into that. And he's shared that very openly. So for Aimee, that's actually very good for her to see. And it's something that she, can be encouraged to embrace with the Scorpio North node. Her goal is about becoming more intense and not being afraid of emotions. So when you have a Scorpio North node, you have a Taurus South node. The Taurus South node is about security, safety, ruled by Venus, luxury, abundance. The Scorpio North node says, yes, that's beautiful and that's nice and you should enjoy that, but there's more to life. But there's more to life. There's more than just the finer things in life. What about spirituality? What about your beliefs? What about pain? With Scorpio being about transformation. How does pain transform you? How does pain make you grow? How do we merge with other people and experience intensity of emotions through our connections. And who do we become during those connections? That's what Aimee's being triggered to feel. So it really makes sense to me why she might, unfollow or block him, whatever. I think it's overwhelming because it looks like they are not going to be together, at least at this point. We'll see what the tarot cards have to say. But at least at this point, because he is married and he has a family. And I think it is a good thing. I don't want to encourage anyone to leave their family, even if you have a North Node Venus placement. Sometimes these things happen where maybe these two would come together and meet each other, not to be together, but maybe to experience selflessness. Maybe Aimee needed to, and this sounds crazy, but maybe she needed to experience a profound love loss through meeting someone that is a soulmate or embodies all the qualities of someone that she would want to be with as a soulmate with that North Node Venus energy, but that she can't be with due to outside circumstances. And how does she psychologically work through that? And who does that help her to become? It adds depth, it adds layers to her soul and to her understanding of the human experience. This is very deep. There are no lighthearted connections here. I mean, I do a lot of birth chart readings, okay? A lot of synastry connections. And this is probably the most closely, he said enmeshed. I'll use his words. This is probably the most closely enmeshed, interconnected birth chart energies between two people that I've ever seen. It is very, very intense.
I'll follow you into the next life and the next.
Okay, a couple of other things before we pull some cards. Here's one thing that's interesting. Could be an affair indicator, potentially. If not an affair indicator, at least an indication of some confusing passion. So Aimee's Mercury is in Pisces, and her Mercury energy, that is the way that she thinks, the way that she processes things. Mercury helps us to put things in order, to understand the world around us. It's the way that we communicate, and it's like how we think, So in Pisces already, she has a dreamy disposition. She's able to play other characters, to act, to be very creative. People with Mercury in Pisces are really, really creative. They make great actors and actresses. But her Mercury in Pisces, the way that she thinks, is conjunct Walton's Mars in Pisces, which is his passion. Mars is what drives us. Mars is our passion. So the more that they have dialogue with that Mars Mercury connection, the more that they have dialogue, the more that they experience passion, even if it's just acting, the more lost in it they can become. Because Pisces is about the 12th house, where we dissolve ourselves, we dissolve our ego. It is the line between this life and the next. It is spirituality. It's what's hidden. It's clandestine affairs, by the way. So the zodiac sign of clandestine affairs is present for them, conjunct, with their Mars Mercury conjunction. I'd say potential affair indicator. The way they think, the way they communicate, the way that they experience passion could be very hidden and intoxicating. Pisces can also get very intoxicated and just fully fall into a love affair or a Hollywood movie. But because it's a Pisces connection and not Neptune, that feels more real to me. Like I'm leaning towards affair indicator. Okay. Last and final connection I want to point out. This is a difficulty indicator that could point to some of the pain that we are seeing, honestly, just through their social media, also through Aimee crying. And you could tell she felt very hurt that Walton was not there at the premiere. She felt like she said, it was something they did together, and it was deeply hurtful with that Scorpio moon that he didn't show up for her. Scorpio moons are very, very loyal, and if they love someone, they love them fully. Scorpio moons love very, very wholly. And when that love is not returned or they're betrayed, again, part of the reason for that stinger, it's because they just don't take connection or love lightly. So if they love you, they mean it. If they want to be there for you, if they tell you something, they mean it. And if you betray them or they perceive that you've betrayed them, lied to them, done something to hurt them, said something behind their back. It could be a number of things that are emotionally could take a toll on someone. Any of those things. I mean any of them. Ooh, a Scorpio moon is going to feel hurt, and they really feel it. Like they go to the depths of Hades with their feelings because Scorpio rules the underworld. So I think that it felt probably very hellish that he didn't show up. And that's not even an exaggeration. So his moon is in Leo. Ooh, and with a Leo moon and a Scorpio moon, you really couldn't have two moons that speak more of a different language. I mean, let me know in the comments below. I challenge you to find a combination that would be more difficult than this. And I'd love to hear your reasoning, because I'm like, dang, this is a lot. So Leo energy wants to expand, is generous, is big, is gregarious, is about the spotlight. He's going to love you and lavish love upon you and tell you you're beautiful and amazing. And then they don't mean any harm because they're fire sign energy. And then they're going to move on their way and they're going to meet somebody else. They're going to say maybe the same exact thing to them. And they feel it fully in the moment. And and this is not every Leo moon, by the way. Leo moons are also very regal, associated with the lion archetype of strength. When they commit, they truly do commit, many of them. Some that don't, and same with Scorpio moons. But there's just a difference in the way that they express love and what feels like love to them. For Leo, it's like big gestures, like telling them they're amazing, giving them gifts, like putting them on a pedestal. Like that makes a Leo moon feel loved and satisfied. For a Scorpio moon, it's like, sure, that's nice to hear, but what makes them feel loved and satisfied is knowing you're going to be there. You're going to show up. You're going to choose them every time. You're going to mean what you say and say what you mean, and knowing that they can count on you. So it's just different things feed the two moons. Different things make the two moons feel truly emotionally connected. They just have different love languages, different needs. So that could explain, in particular, the one incident that happened with Aimee Lou Wood and SNL, where they did that sketch and they portrayed Aimee Lou, like her teeth. And she said something on social media, and good for her. If it hurt her feelings, say it. I think that people should be more real and honest in general. And I think she was very classy with the way she handled it. She didn't blame the actress. She just said, it's how I feel. It kind of hurt my feelings, whatever. And I think that's fair. If they can, if they can do the sketch, she can say how she feels. And she was actually very mild about it. I think she didn't go off or anything. And then Walton, I'm assuming it's because they don't follow each other. And I'm guessing he didn't see the post. Being the Leo moon that he is, he commented something on, on the sketch saying like, oh, this is so funny or whatever. That's a Leo moon. He probably didn't even think about how this might hurt Aimee Lou, because as a Leo moon, he would probably be intensely flattered if SNL did a sketch and portrayed his character as having like a huge forehead. Like he would be happy just to be seen, just to be a part of it. Like as a Leo moon, it's like, oh my God, I'm on the stage. I love it. Like, so it's very, very different. It's very, very different. Okay, now let's pull some cards. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Walton Goggins' wife, apparently she did come to set. It was also rumored to be good friends with Leslie Bibb, who worked on the show as well, and who was also good friends with Aimee Lou Wood. It just seems like this got very, very messy. A lot of friendships, a lot of entanglements. Oh my God, I sound like Jada Pinkett Smith. Entanglements. A lot of entanglements, though. So first, before we get into Walton and Aimee Lou, I would like to know, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, if Walton and his wife Nadia do have some sort of understanding about when he's on set, when he's acting, what exactly does that look like? What are his obligations? Because posting the Fleetwood Mac and all that, I guess you could say that it was just about your characters, but still. The other media quotes, you just can't deny there's a little, I don't know how you could be someone's wife and not be a little bothered. Okay, so what is Walton's arrangement with his wife, Nadia, allegedly? The King of Swords. Oh my God. Okay, so remember the rumor? He's allowed to do whatever he needs to do while he's on set, to act, if he needs to method act, whatever. But then once it's over, and he needs to cut it off. King of Swords. I would say that maybe he's the one that unfollowed Aimee first. I think that also might be the reason that he didn't show up to the premiere. This is a clean break. I mean, King of Swords. I mean, you don't get a more clear answer than this. Clean break. So a total switch up. And that, especially for someone with Aimee Lou Wood's Scorpio moon, it's like for her, it's like, wait, how do you just do that? You know, how do you just compartmentalize like that? So it would be very hurtful to feel abandoned by someone. The King of Swords, that is the arrangement though. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes, that is the arrangement. You have to cut it off. Okay, interesting. How does Nadia allegedly feel about Aimee Lou Wood? Ooh, the Two of Wands. Interesting. Looking to the future. Two wands indicate two markers of passion. I'm going to read this as she probably felt a little bit threatened about her future with Walton. Seeing the two flames, the two indicators of like fire sign energy, the two rods, this is like seeing two passionate individuals. I don't think that she has any sort of confusion about what happened. And I do think that it's something that they have to work through. I think it's something that she has maybe accepted, but at the same time, the way that I think Nadia deals with it, again, it's up to, no judgment. That's their life. It's like, as long as he cuts it off, that is their arrangement, and she's okay with that. But she knew about the passion. She could tell. That is disturbing. Oh my God. Okay, the bottom of the deck, what we don't see, yeah, is the Seven of Swords. This is sneakiness, sneaky communication. This is, yeah, there is a little bit of deceit here. I'm not going to lie, you guys. How ironic. Not going to lie. No, there's a little bit of deceit here. Yeah, there's a little bit of deceit going on here. I don't think that Walton and Nadia have spoken about all the details necessarily. I just got goosebumps. All of the details. But I do think that there's like an understanding, a general awareness. There may have been a lot more to the story than Nadia is willing to accept or really look at. And definitely more than Walton wants to discuss. This feels a little bit unhealthy, I'll be honest with you guys. Okay. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. What's going on between Walton and Aimee? What is going on between Walton and Aimee? Like at this present moment. The King of Pentacles. Okay. Walton is definitely turning on the charm. He's trying to turn the charm, be really kind, and focus on the money that they're making and their career. And I think he's trying to come to her from that angle. I was watching some other interviews with him for coming on and doing this, just because I'm not really familiar with him like as a person or how he is behind the scenes. And I just wanted to kind of like get a vibe for his personality before doing the reading. And he was interviewed like quite a while ago about this other show that he did. And apparently he had like some issues with somebody, that actor Timothy Oliphant. And, when asked, like, they kind of, he was honest, and he was like, we kind of had this thing where we had an issue for a little while. We had a conflict on set with the way that we act and, our method of doing things. And it looks like there was just really a difference in the way that they work, kind of like a creative differences thing, right? And he said, but now we're good. And it's like they're working together again on something else. So it's like, for me, it just seems like he's able to have these conflicts, Leo moon, forgive and forget, move on, and stay focused on, like, he doesn't lose the plot, basically. He's trying to get Aimee Lou to focus on the bigger picture. How does that make her feel? Allegedly. How does that make her feel? How does that make her feel that now Walton switched into like career mode and like trying to depersonalize things after being extremely personal while filming? Oh, whoa. Guys, I almost dropped the whole deck. So she feels some type of way. Oh, wow. the 10 of Wands, she feels burdened by this. Okay, so the pain, I would say the majority of the pain is on her end. I mean, they both have the connection between the sun and Venus in their their compiled composite chart. So they both feel the energy of Venus North Node. But for some reason, Walton is much better at being able to compartmentalize, attach, move backwards, like reattach. Like he's just, I don't know. It's an interesting kind of thing that he's able to do without like getting super dragged down. Whereas Aimee, it just feels like a big burden. She just feels super burdened by this whole entire thing. I think she's ready for this all to be over. The rest is unfolding. So on that note, we will just have to stay tuned, see what happens. Whatever this next project is that they're going to be promoting or whatever. Like, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they interact together on camera, or if they're going to be like Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and just like not do any press together. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think that they even know yet. So, all right, you guys, let me know what you think of that. Crazy, I know. I appreciate you guys for watching. I love you so much. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed on YouTube. If you guys are on Spotify, please leave a review. It would mean the world to me. Let me know if you like the show. And if there's other topics you want me to get into, just go ahead and drop that in the comments too. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe in the cards and stars over on Instagram, Spotify, and follow me on the Brit Madrid YouTube channel. All right, guys. Love ya.